This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
9 to noon.
I'm here to serve you.
Oh, my.
Fire away.
Here comes the scribe, Ben Goessling, Star Tribune, startribune.com. Access Vikings, a podcast that Andrew, Emily, and Ben do frequently, as a matter of fact, but specifically after games. And that's part of the charge for Team Strib and Ben's appearance. 9 to noon is courtesy of Standard Heating and Air. If people wanted to subscribe to Access Vikings, is it go to YouTube, search Access Vikings?
Yeah.
Hit that sub button and make sure to hit the bell.
Yeah, so it's within the Star Tribune's YouTube page. You'll find it there. But yeah, if you look for Star Tribune Access Vikings, if you search for that on YouTube, you'd find opportunities to subscribe there. And then you go into the channel, and most of our channel has a lot of Viking stuff right now. Otherwise, podcast-wise, you can find us Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, any of the places you get your podcasts. Just search for Access Vikings and
got it.
And we're there. It was a challenge to try to get that thing done this week because they turned the power out at Soldier Field after the game. So
you did it from Chicago?
We typically would after the game. We'll go find we become squatters. You find a suite or a coach's booth or something.
Got it.
After the game to do those. But Soldier Field, the Park District, likes to turn the power out not too long after the game so people can go home.
Crazy.
We didn't get it done, so then yesterday we just did it once we all got home on 3-4 hours of sleep.
Now,
box.
I came into the radio show thinking I had the National Football League in a box because with the kick that Santos couldn't get out of the end zone, O'Connell's like, here, kitty, come on. Chandler came out. Clock went below the 2-minute warning. And then, I started thinking about it yesterday after chatting with O'Connell for X's and O's, didn't look it up. And I'm like, well, that's a penalty. Okay. As I recall,
getting it past
I might be wrong here that if you kick it out of bounds, a flag comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the key here, because if I'm the coach who wants, to touch the ball and get the clock below 2 minutes, I decline. So you do it again. I decline again. You do it again. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
And then, so I was talking with Florio from PFT about it. Somebody tweeted us during, named Jay Pipe, saying, you can't decline a kickoff that goes out of bounds. Play is dead and ball goes to the 40.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I just might have put myself in a box.
Yeah.
Florio's going to look it up, maybe write about it later today during the conversation. Nordo. Mad Producer. He went to looking up the particulars of it.
I found no specifics, one way or the other.
Now we're more confused.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's a good question. That's maybe a Matt Daniels one tomorrow too.
Right. What did you find?
Well, I found two things. First of all, zero information on the dynamic kickoff rule bits for 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I found, similar to what this Jay Pipes was talking about, I found one writing that said you can't decline that penalty because it is dead. And it's basically you're assuming lost yardage, so it's automatically tallied whether you like it or not. You're getting the ball at the 40.
All right.
But then now we got this landing zone bit where if you kick it out of bounds, it goes to the 40. If you fall short of it, it goes to the 40. And the more I read, the more I lean towards it being an automatic.
Yeah.
That it's just happening. And under the assumption, by the way, most teams would appreciate having the ball at the 40. So. Yeah. Except for a situation like this, of course, where you're trying to game the system and make him keep it in play.
Well, then you can't drop a flag. Because if you drop a flag, that is inherently an accept or decline.
Yeah.
So, can you decline a false start?
No. Well, no. I mean, no, I wouldn't, because the play never started. So I think it would just whistle it dead. It'd be the same kind of thing.
And you're right, because the play, that's a great point. Excellent question.
I think it's because it's a dead play. Like the clock wouldn't start, which is why I stupidly yesterday, I'm thinking, somebody asked, well, can he just dance around in the end zone and avoid the potential of Chandler coming out? Let's say he fumbles. That'd be catastrophic, right? So can he just dance around in the end zone and let the clock tick off? Well, the clock doesn't start until he leaves the end zone, so he has to get out of there.
Wow.
So so again, I think is it that it's just a dead play until you have physical movement happening?
I don't like that last part. I mean, if assuming it's accurate, which I would imagine it is, if you catch a play in the end zone, the clock has to start. I should start.
I don't think the clock starts until you come out. I think it starts when you cross the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, or at least would be making forward motion, because you see so many times where guys will catch it in the end zone and then they don't move and they call it a touchback.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would think you'd have to come across the goal line before the clock would actually start.
Yep. Dead ball foul, you cannot decline.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the box.
I think it would be they'd say something like, by rule, the ball will be placed at the 40. So, yes, if you are the Bears, that would have been the play. It's say, fine, take it at the 40, but we want our timeouts, or we want our free timeout at the 2-minute warning.
Mm-hmm. I tried. Would you guess Darrisaw play Sunday night?
I would. I think it was close. I think there's a good chance he gets the full week of work. They may have a day off and they're prescribed, but I think he'll get enough work this week that they feel good about it. And if that happens, I think he plays Sunday night.
You know what's tricky for me with this? And I'm not a scribe, so I'm just going to roll into the game Sunday night and see who's at left tackle.
Yeah.
But is of the two of the X amount of practices last week, I think he was full.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he say they ran 100 plays. I'm not going to say he was part of 100 plays.
Yeah.
But he, like O'Connell said it in his press conference last week, I think it was Wednesday, where Darrisaw is going to practice all day today.
And Wednesday was the biggest day of work.
Right. And then I think he did it again. I think there was a full practice, or at least, more than a partial practice later. And then he didn't play. That's what was weird.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I think of here is with TJ Hawkinson last year, they had a couple of weeks where he had been practicing, and he has a chance to come back. The first one would have been the Lions game, but then they didn't want to probably have him back against his former team that he got hurt against. And then it's the Thursday night, the short week against the Rams. So then I think it ended up being the Colts that he actually came back for. So there were a couple of weeks where it's like, he could be ready to go timing wise, but we don't love the circumstances. So I wonder how much of that was, I don't think the field played into it. I think O'Connell basically said it was, giving it another week here and just getting a little more practice time. But I wouldn't be shocked if they said, let's just give it a little more time. The tricky part of it is, and I think Andrew Kramer talked to him about it yesterday or after the game, and he said, actually the weird thing is you'd probably prefer to come back on grass rather than on turf like you'll be Sunday night. So, there's always those things to figure out, but I think home opener, easier setting. It'll be quiet when you're coming back in. You're not going to have a crowd where you're trying to hear over and run a silent count and those kinds of things at home. I think he plays, and I think if he gets another week of work, that just adds to just a few more reps in the bank before he's back out there.
I saw your tweet at Ben Goessling via X. Blake Cashman potentially is going to miss some time with a hamstring. Yeah. O'Connell speaks today at about 1:30, 1:40, so clarity probably will take place. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a big loss. I mean, you saw it when he's chasing Caleb Williams. I think it was like on a 13-yard scramble for a first down. You know, one of the many times where Williams gets out and it's let's have a race to the corner, and he's going to win most of those races. Cashman's coming around. You could see it on the film where his right hamstring, I believe it was his right hamstring, you just see it seize up. The thing I'm curious about there.
You can see the hamstring like bubble or something?
Well, it didn't bubble like you see it with an Achilles, but you can see it kind of grab. I mean, if you watch the play, you can see, and his gait changes immediately because he feels it. So
sign up to chat with the Scribe, and Dr. David Chow from Twitter shows up.
The Scribe spends enough time dealing with hamstrings in his coaching pursuits that the Scribe is fairly familiar with seeing what these things look like. More with sprinters,
the best,
than distance runners. It's when the sprinters all in the spring. Oh, I can't run. It's 42 degrees, and my hamstrings are getting. So I deal with a lot of that in April.
Understood.
Started. I wonder with the turf, because you could see his cleat kind of grab the turf, and I don't know this yet, but I do wonder if that played any factor in it at all. Because I remember the one with Jefferson when he got hurt against the Chiefs in 23. I think they felt like the turf, when he makes that cut at US Bank Stadium on the old slit film surface, was part of the reason that happened. So I will be curious to find out if that was a factor. I don't know that for sure, but just watching the play made me think of it.
The coach yesterday with UPA kind of mentioned, after looking at some film, we didn't think it was an issue, I think is kind of how he framed it up. But then watching the film back,
it's a lot of slipping.
We saw some slipping. It actually played a bigger factor than maybe we initially thought.
Yeah, Jefferson slipped a number of times. Man, I think there was
he slipped in the backfield one time.
Yeah, there was kind of like a pivot route that he, trying to make the cut, he slipped.
It seems the league perhaps got the dynamic kickoff right. 118 returns week one. And comparing to 2024, more than double week one from last year with the amount of returns, and the touchbacks went from 64% to 18% last week. Are you down with the new version of the dynamic kickoff?
I mean, if the 5 yards make that big of a difference, and I think they did quite a few studies on the payoff of the extra 5 yards that make you think, yes, it does make that big of a difference in terms of whether you want to bring it out or not, or kick it into the end zone or not. It's probably more on the kicking team that's actually initiating the play. But I like it if it's going to create something where that play is still in the game, because I think that play is important. I think it's a piece of the game, a piece of the whole phase that is unique. It can have a big impact on games, as anybody who's watched the Vikings over the years would know, whether it's Percy Harvin or Cordero Patterson. If you have a good kickoff returner, or if you've watched Devin Hester in Chicago, that can make a big difference over the course of a season. A couple of plays can get changed, and that may change a game, that may change standings, all of those kinds of things. So I like the fact that it's happening at a higher rate. I was a little surprised that it was that high, and we'll see if that changes as teams come up with different ways to play it throughout the course of the year. But if the rates are going to stay that high, yeah, I'm on board with it.
Tim Jones got wide receiver reps before rookie Ty Felton. How does one read into that?
I felt like that was a little bit of, with Christian Darrisaw being out, Tim Jones is a little more of a factor as a blocker, where it's, whether it's pass protection, because I think on the interception, he actually was kind of working as a chipper. They had 7 in protection on that, because they had a tight end, and then he motions Aaron Jones back in he was split out wide, and they motioned Jones in to have a 7-man protection. Jones actually chips on the play before he releases. So I think that was part of the thinking there, is this guy is a little more of a stout receiver, a little probably better blocker, somebody who's going to be a better factor in that part of it, both for pass protection, and then you see them use this with run blockers quite a bit. It's the tight splits, it's the Cooper Kupp stuff where you want your wide receivers functioning as run blockers at times. I think he did more of that than you would expect Ty Felton to do in week one. I imagine that was part of the thinking there, is just almost like a quasi tight end, kind of that Cooper Kupp type role, I think is what got him in there in that setting.
ESPN, the first take bit running right now. Good question on the screen. Off week one, should people be higher on the Packers than they were into the season?
Good question.
Or more down on the Lions after 8 coaches? You got 8 new coaches in the covenant. John Morton, not Johnny Morton, John Morton. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not Johnny Morton, the old wide receiver 3 for the Lions back in the 90s. I was surprised that the Packers looked that good. I was in and out of that game a little bit on Sunday, but Jordan Love having as much open space for receivers as he did, some of that could be the Lions' new defense, but I thought he was hitting throws we haven't seen him hit quite as often. I thought he was more decisive. I thought he was more pristine, more accurate.
Yeah.
More precise is probably the word I should use.
He was pristine also.
Yeah, I suppose. But then Micah Parsons makes a big difference too. So
how much of the game did he play? I didn't look at the snap counts.
I didn't see the snap counts.
It was about half.
either.
I think he played 29 snaps or something like that.
Probably don't have everything in
he
for
had
him
1
yet.
sack, and I think that was it. Maybe 1 tackle also.
Yeah.
And it was at it was towards the end of the game where he chased down Goff.
Yeah.
Ben Goessling, Star Tribune, StarTribune.com, courtesy of Standard Heating and Air, weekly 9 to noon, and also with a bumper to bumper on Fridays. So Hitman, is Hitman a week-to-week thing?
Yeah, I think so. I would bet he'll have a pretty good chance to go this week. I think it's some of it last week was he just hadn't practiced since August 11th.
Yeah.
So they wanted to.
The conditioning?
Yeah, get football shape is kind of the thing you'll hear them talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how he goes through this week. If he gets a more consistent week of work, which I would expect he will, I would think he's back for Sunday night at home. It'll be interesting if I don't know if they'll announce the defense or the offense as the starters, but if it's the defense, I would expect year 14, he's probably the last one on the tunnel. So I would think he's ready to go. We'll see how the week goes, but the way it went last week, I think another week of work to kind of get the conditioning up, I would expect he plays.
Nordo texted me a question last night that I thought was a very smart, interesting question. And at that point, I had just completed watching the Vikings offense back and then started to look at some Falcons to memorize numbers. But it involved no Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
And the communicative nature or lack thereof involving the secondary.
Yeah, I was just looking back at the game, and overall, prior to that final scoring drive, I think Flores' group had allowed about 250 total yards, somewhere in that area. And I'm just thinking to myself, Hitman as an organizer, where you go from number 22 to expecting more out of Theo, which you're going to need him all year, of course, but then Jay Ward's going from trying to stay on side on field goal kick coverage to now suddenly he's getting a ton of snaps on the back end. And you did see moments on Monday night where it was open in the middle. You saw a couple of post-snap or post-play, I should say, not finger-pointing per se, but kind of some looks among that younger, more inexperienced secondary going like, where was I supposed to be? Who had that guy? And I'm just thinking, Hitman, could he be the solver to that based on what I watched on Monday?
Yeah, I think that's a good read. There were some times where you had receivers running open on Monday night, and that if Caleb Williams hits a few of those throws or if he sees it and pulls the trigger on it, those could have been some big plays. I think Harrison Smith is part of that. I also wouldn't discount Blake Cashman. I mean, he leaves in the third quarter, but as a coordinator, as an organizer, that's more the front seven. Smith's probably more coordinating the secondary. But I think losing both of those guys who are big pieces of that defense that they rely so much on communication and pre-snap checks and changes right before the snap, a lot of that is on those two guys. And Kevin O'Connell praised the job Eric Wilson did coming in there. Eric Wilson's going to do a lot of that work in the time that Cashman is out. But yeah, I think that's right. I think Harrison Smith, with the impact it would have on the secondary and just freeing up Josh Metellus to be in more of his unique individual role that he's typically playing, I think all of that is a factor. For what they did Monday night, they probably dodged a few bullets in terms of some of the things Caleb Williams could have hit. But, if they get everybody back, that probably looks a little different.
Well, I'm curious. So safeties aside, was there anything that stood out to you, whether it was good or maybe glaring, worrisome about the secondary in general? I was really pumped to see Isaiah Rodgers make his debut.
Yeah.
And he didn't really stick out good or bad per se. Had a nice, there was a short pass, maybe it was a Dunze caught behind the line of scrimmage that Isaiah was part of. There was a moment, and you mentioned Caleb missing throws at times, where Isaiah is tracking, I think, DJ Moore, but then bites on a guy in the flat, and Caleb throws this hideous, it's a touchdown 98 out of 100 times, and Caleb badly overthrows DJ, and there was a safety late to the scene. And so I'm thinking, again, going down that communication route. But other than that, I'm still kind of, and I hope this concussion thing with Okuda's okay, but, he kind of stuck out maybe in not a great light, but he's working his way into it. Anything stick out to you?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, the communication stuff you mentioned, but I also thought there was quite a bit of man coverage, at least early on. And maybe that's to simplify things a little bit. And you also have two corners there that are good man cover guys.
That's
that
why you got them, right?
be. Yes. I mean, that's what you'd hope to be. And they trended more in that direction last year, and that's kind of been the MO for Brian Flores. But we did see, I think Ben Johnson saw it. They ran some man beater stuff early where there were some kind of moving screens that got people open and just, hey, could we get a receiver out to the flat that's hard for you to sort through all the trash? So it will be interesting to see if they stick with that approach. And it does simplify things, and it's just go cover your guy. But yeah, you have to have those receivers run around, or the corners run around quite a bit covering those receivers. So when it's Drake London and company on Sunday night, I will be interested to see if that coverage mix looks the same, or if they try to, they'll probably throw some different things to throw Penix off as well. But a lot of variables between missing starters, week one, guys in new spots, a lot of things that probably still have to get settled a little bit.
Our next segment and final segment with the scribe Ben Goessling will be J.J. McCarthy centric. Don't leave.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. The rush of racing? Nothing beats it. But Chumba Casino comes close. Chumba's got fast spins, fun games, daily bonuses, and all the action you can handle. Now that's a ride. Ready to hit the throttle? Get in the driver's seat and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Life moves fast. A new home. A new baby. A new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney designed, state specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
There's a moment every parent remembers. The day their child takes off on two wheels. With Guardian Bikes, that moment comes as early as 2 years old, and with less stress and frustration. These bikes are built just for kids. Lightweight frames, low center of gravity, easy to use brakes. Everything about Guardian is designed to help kids ride confidently, often in just one day, no training wheels needed. And because Guardian bikes are designed and assembled right here in the USA, you know they're built to last. With care in every detail. Their patented SureStop braking system stops both wheels with a single lever, helping your child stop safely without tripping forward or losing control. Right now, save hundreds when comparing Guardian to its competitors at GuardianBikes.com and get a free lock and pump when you join their newsletter, a $50 value. Visit GuardianBikes.com today to save and help your child learn an essential life skill safely. Guardian Bikes, built for your kid and for the memories you'll never forget.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Anyone else feeling hungry? Because Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You could stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, mozzarella sticks and marinara, or brew pub pretzels with white cheddar beer cheese. Or you could spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. The choice is yours. The Ultimate Trio is the perfect way to hit all your cravings in one plate and turn appetizers into an entree. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. That's eating good in the neighborhood.
3rd and 1 from the Bears 14. McCarthy out of the shotgun, milking a 3-point lead. It is a run-pass option. McCarthy takes off to the right, to the 10. Stutter steps at the 5. Touchdown! He's J.J. McCarthy, and he runs for a Vikings touchdown. And the Minnesota Vikings, after that 14-yard touchdown gallop, sending fans home here at Soldier Field. Ben's weekend piece on the making of J.J. McCarthy and the big business behind becoming a National Football League quarterback. StarTribune.com if you missed it. Very informative, the Scribe. For those who missed it, where can they still find it? And I just said StarTribune.com, but I guess the question would be, is it still unlocked with a gift? And what was the story all about?
Yeah, so the easiest way to find it, first of all, it's pinned on my socials, and the link I have in there is still that gift link that's unlocked. So this idea, for me, this was something we actually started kicking around last year before his rookie year, because we've been thinking about this big quarterback project with all sorts of different ideas when, hey, it's a rookie quarterback and all this different stuff. And that kind of got scrapped when he got hurt. But then this idea is something I've just been noodling around with for a while. Because one of the things I've been curious about is how much has this process changed? You just hear so much stuff about people hiring private instructors, going to all these camps, and it's more time, it's more money. Families are trying to figure out, okay, do I need to do this year round? Can I play other sports? And just the process of this has changed a lot. And he is a big example of this, because he's a guy that I've come to find out as I'm doing the story, hires his first private instructor in 5th grade. Greg Holcomb, his quarterback coach, 5th grade. And there are people that are doing it younger. Greg Holcomb, who is McCarthy's coach, told me I have families hiring me to work with their 6-year-olds. And I used to say no, but then my competitors would take them all. So I said, well, I might as well just go start working with them. You have to figure out what that looks like with a 6-year-old. But a lot of middle schoolers, that tends to be the age where it ramps up. And JJ has worked with Greg since that age. High school, it's going around to different camps, going around the country to all these different things. That's part of the reason he ended up giving up elite hockey, because you can't do both those things at the same time. As any hockey parent in Minnesota listening to this knows, it's hard to make bedfellows with hockey because they want a lot of your time. But whether it was the camps, whether it was like doing internet consulting with, hey, we found like a footwork specialist down in Florida. We found a guy that we liked on Instagram for this. I mean, he was hiring all these different people to work with Greg Holcomb. So there was like this team JJ at probably 12 or 13 years old that keeps going through. And then he plays at IMG Academy as a senior because Illinois moved its season to the spring during COVID. He wanted to play his senior season and then get to Michigan by January of his senior year, basically right when he turns 18. So it's like, man, this process just gets sped up way more than it used to. And I just wanted to get a sense of what that world was like. So talked to JJ a lot, talked to his parents, talked to his coaches, and then spent some time with 612 quarterbacks, which Quinn Farzell, who used to play at Augsburg, runs that group. And he's working with, he basically started doing this 3-4 years ago. He told me, I'm driving around the state working with 3 different quarterbacks, losing money on gas. And he's got like more than 100 clients at this point doing private studies, group stuff. You have high school quarterbacks doing these 14-week winter academies. It's crazy how much this stuff has gone to a different level. But you also have guys like J.J. McCarthy or Greg Holcomb's kid that are getting scholarship offers in 8th grade. So it's like, okay, I get why it's sped up. It's fascinating to watch the shift in the way that position gets coached and developed now. And it was kind of just wanted to dig into that world and what it looks like.
Well, it was very informative. Now, great for Greg and great for this innovative approach. I mean, it's an enterprising approach that I would imagine is, if it's not already oversaturated, it will become quickly oversaturated. You'll find a lot of parents buying into it, like you said, at like ages 6 or 7 or whatever. I wonder what the percentage is of those who invest in it at a very young age, and quite honestly, that their kid, to be a D1 quarterback or NFL, certainly the NFL.
Odds are not in their favor.
But you might even be able to tell at a super young age, well, this has no chance here, you know?
Yeah, there is a lot of that, and that was part of what I wanted to get into with the story, is that because you'll get these coaches that will say, oh, I'm going to take your kid D1. Just give me the time and give me the money and I'll make it happen. It's like, you can't guarantee that. And that's one of the things I talked with Josh McCown about it. I talked with Kevin O'Connell, because they both came up as quarterbacks. They both came up in this world, and they both have kids who have played the position. So I just wanted to ask them, you guys have seen this at the highest level. You know how hard it is to get here. What do you do with your own kids? And Josh McCown said, well, we kind of slow played the extra training because you just have to figure out, are the people that you're working with good enough at it to make it worth your time? And then the thing Kevin O'Connell said with his own son, Caden, who is starting to play quarterback and I think is supposed to be pretty good, a big kid with a strong arm. Apple does not fall far from the tree there. But the thing he said is that you can do it, but you have to love it, because otherwise it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, and the odds are not in your favor. So it has to be something you're passionate about. The thing O'Connell said is it's got to be that thing of, you have to love chasing it. That's just towards the end of the story. But the feeling of, I threw a ball to a perfect spot. I knew exactly where I was trying to put it. Nobody else did, but I did. And that satisfaction of, I nailed that. I mean, he talked about, it's like hunting, fishing, golf, anything that's super precise, where it's, I hit that exactly where I wanted to. That has to bring you back to it as much as anything else. Otherwise, it's a waste of time and money. And he said that's the thing he's starting to talk to his kids about is, yeah, we can do this, but you still have to just love the pursuit of excellence and mastery. It's not just about, hey, can I get a scholarship? Can I get to the NFL?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not worth it.
Learn more at bengoessling.com. Now, with McCarthy, and, we've kind of seen this in the offseason, but specifically training camp, these guys will lay on a sword for this kid. Yeah. I mean, there's something blooming here that we've never seen with the cultivation of this kind of a kid quarterback, right?
Yeah, I mean, I felt that Monday night when we're in the locker room afterwards. Aaron Jones, who has played with some good quarterbacks, it should be noted. I mean, he's played with some guys that have had a little bit of success, but he was blown away when JJ says in the huddle, hey, where else would you rather be?
Correct.
And Aaron Jones is like, yeah, you're right. I dreamed of doing this as a kid. Just that the perspective shift that kind of got everybody going when they're still down 11 points. He was like, man, to have a quarterback with this level of presence, this level of emotional intelligence, this level of ability to bring everybody around to his cause was a unique thing. Justin Jefferson, too, I think was taken aback by that and was impressed by it. This is a guy that's played with Kirk Cousins, of course, played with Joe Burrow in college. He's played with some good quarterbacks as well. And there was just a lot of that thing of, the kid has something. You can't quantify it. You can't measure it with analytics, but there's that. And the Vikings have talked about it. O'Connell's talked about it. Just that ability to get people around you to play for you and run through a wall for you. Not everybody has that, and it seems like he does have quite a bit of it.
O'Connell mentioned this after the game about the pick six, with the zero blitz.
Yeah.
He either said was a zero throw.
Yep.
A throw against a zero blitz, meaning bringing everybody center of the field's wide open. Call it a zero throw. He either said there was a zero throw or should have been I can't remember what he said, but what is McCarthy supposed to do obviously instead of throwing a pick six.
Well, there's been a lot of debate on this, whether he should have gotten that ball out a little sooner and thrown it with a little more anticipation. I'll be interested to hear what he has to say about it after watching it back in the film. But I think O'Connell said it after the game, too, that if you hold the ball a split second longer, there's Jalen Naylor probably breaking open, and that's probably a touchdown.
Oh, geez.
And I suppose even the play that Nashawn Wright makes, if you get that ball out a little sooner and he's taking his shot and he misses, Jefferson's housing it as well. So I think some of it was a little bit of timing, and it's either if you're going to throw Jefferson, probably throw it a little sooner, or if you're going to throw Naylor, you could have waited a split second because they had it blocked up fairly well. And I'm sure he's thinking, okay, the pressure's coming. We got to be out with the ball pretty quickly. And Tim Jones was on the check down, I think, there too. But the pocket was fairly clean because of the protection adjustments he had made. So I do wonder if you take another tick, and O'Connell alluded to this, at least in the press conference after the game with us, that if you hold it, maybe Naylor's open and you beat that zero blitz because there's nobody behind it for a long gain or a touchdown.
Ben Goessling, Star Tribune, StarTribune.com. A couple of quickies to close here. In the Access Vikings podcast, and you referenced it a little bit, just talking about that. You didn't say it factor here, but
yeah.
you and I heard it a lot Monday night, and yesterday. With McCarthy and quantifying the cliched quote it factor end quote. Did you compare J.J. McCarthy to Tom Brady?
I always loved that one.
I have.
You did a little bit.
I have not made the preposterous statement tournament in a long time. So
it's right there.
I'm trying to take a swing at it here to see if I can get in that thing, I suppose. But no, only
you did, and you referenced.
Yeah, only in the sense that, and it's really, and I tried to preface it by saying it's really early and really premature to do that in any capacity because Tom Brady, his resume is one of one. I think the capacity that you see it is just that I'm not going to let anybody stop me. I'm not going to let any stone go unturned. I am that driven to be the best. You do see different guys, whether it's at the beginning of their journey like McCarthy or the end of it like Brady, that have that way of going about it. There's just like an approach to the job, an approach to playing the position that reminded me a little bit of that. And we'll see over time whether that's preposterous or whether that's predictive.
Emily corroborated.
Yeah. There is.
Well, PST doesn't require any context.
No, I know. So
whatever preface or disclaimer you made, that might not make it into.
Genevieve, if you're listening, consider this my application to get in that thing for next year. I don't usually go there, but let's try to see if we can take a run at it. Maybe get a decent seat in this thing.
The mindset seems special, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
Appreciate you, brother, and we'll listen to you Friday with Bump, and then see you in the Vox Box Sunday for your pregame hit. Thank you.
Thanks. Should be fun.
Ben Goessling, courtesy of Standard Heating and Air.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. The rush of racing? Nothing beats it. But Chumba Casino comes close. Chumba's got fast spins, fun games, daily bonuses, and all the action you can handle. Now that's a ride. Ready to hit the throttle? Get in the driver's seat and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney designed, state specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will. There's a moment every parent remembers. The day their child takes off on 2 wheels. With Guardian Bikes, that moment comes as early as 2 years old, and with less stress and frustration. These bikes are built just for kids. Lightweight frames, low center of gravity, easy-to-use brakes. Everything about Guardian is designed to help kids ride confidently, often in just one day, no training wheels needed. And because Guardian bikes are designed and assembled right here in the USA, you know they're built to last. With care in every detail. Their patented Sure-Stop braking system stops both wheels with a single lever, helping your child stop safely without tripping forward or losing control. Right now, save hundreds when comparing Guardian to its competitors at GuardianBikes.com and get a free lock and pump when you join their newsletter, a $50 value. Visit GuardianBikes.com today to save and help your child learn an essential life skill safely. Guardian Bikes, built for your kid and for the memories you'll never forget.
This is Rob Gronkowski from Dudes on Dudes. Anyone else feeling hungry? Because Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You can stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, mozzarella sticks and marinara, or brew pub pretzels and white cheddar beer cheese. Or you can spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. The choice is yours. The Ultimate Trio is the perfect way to hit all your cravings in one plate and turn appetizers into an entree. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Back after.
Welcome back. News du Nord, which is always brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park down in Shakopee. Really the best spot in Shakopee. You can bring your family and you can feel the felt all year round. Poker, blackjack, and table games. Live racing, still, I believe, 2 Saturdays remaining, plus a couple of weekdays in the mix as well. Live racing, the 2025 season, sadly, but ultimately coming to an end here within the next couple weeks. Check that out. And check this out. You got a big opinion on Thursday night's game? Commanders at the Packers? Or do I have that in reverse? Commanders at the Packers is indeed accurate. Well, why don't you buckle up here? Get down to Shakopee. Thursdays. Here's what you do Thursdays between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You go to Canterbury Park and you participate in the Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. It's easy. You guys know more about sports than we do, so maybe you can tell us what your picks are, and I can possibly win something at Canterbury because you pick the winners from the week of football. Each week, you pick the most. You can be a weekly winner and a prize, but they add up, and over the course of the season, there'll be one grand prize winner who wins a free year of fuel, a free year of gas from Quick Trip, which is super sweet. And all you got to do, go to Canterbury, pick the winners of the weekend of football. You should check that out. More intel, of course, CanterburyPark.com is the spot to go. Some news, this will be NFL-centric, as a matter of fact. The 49ers will place George Kittle on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. He got hurt in the first half of the victory over the Seahawks, so he's going to miss the next 4, which is at New Orleans, homers against Zona and Jacksonville, and then at the Rams. So he's on IR, and they cut their kicker. Jake Moody has been waived in favor of veteran, I think it's Eddie Pinheiro. Yes, it is. Eddie Pinheiro. And Moody, by the way, terrific rookie season. Kind of iffy in and out a year ago, and I guess he missed 2 of 3 over the weekend against Seattle, and they're like, we're done with you. Sorry, best of luck in future endeavors. So now Eddie Pinheiro is in the mix. Trials and tribulations as Juwan Jennings, has a shoulder. Of course, Ayuk is on fire, is still returning from the knee. They got some trouble at some skill spots, PA, despite, they get the win here. They're at New Orleans next. Hopefully, they're thinking they should be able to beat them while being shorthanded, but tough times for Shanny's group.
Yeah, it through all of that, for them to find a way to win at the Cappuccino Capital was big for them, simply because it's with Kittle. I mean, that's going to be a month of games. And Pearsall has blown up, but now that was the unscouted look game, week number 1.
Yeah.
I would imagine Ricky Pearsall is going to be fine. But they are reconfiguring and reshaping things with 49er Nation. For instance, Isaac Guerrero, a tailback who many thought would be the backup to Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he barely played in that game against Seattle. Brian Robinson, the veteran for whom they traded with Washington right in front of the season, he became their 2-back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So the assumption from afar, and I'm speculating, would be Guerrero has problems pass protecting.
Maybe, yeah.
That's generally the first, because when they traded Jordan Mason, they did it because they wanted to get more run out of Guerrero. Well, then all of a sudden they start doing joint practices and preseason games and stuff like that, and they trade for Brian Robinson, which is, generally an indicator that my man's pass protection or knowing the plays isn't exactly a strong point.
Yeah. They also in the NFL, some news as I'm sorry, I apologize. Let me get back on track. Brain starts again now. How about this? Jalen Carter not being suspended for spitting on Dak Prescott prior to the opener. He has been fined. He's going to forfeit a game check, $57,000 and change. But I guess the league is noting that because it happened before a snap had taken place, they're effectively counting that opener as his suspension. So he'll be able to return to practice.
When I first read that, I was like, the game started. Come on. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, stop being so medieval on this. It all adds up.
Yeah, and they kicked him out of the game. They fined him nearly $60,000. Are you going to suspend him? What are you going to do? You're going to suspend him for as long as, like Jordan Addison, the 3 games that he's dealing with because of culpability based on what he did out in L.A. over a spit. I will say this. I think I would rather have to dodge a punch than get spit on by another person.
To dodge the punch?
Well, I would rather.
The spit landed, so I would make it akin of a punch landed.
No, but I think there's something
it's
about
degrading
it.
Spit. Yeah,
correct. Like I honestly, I would rather face somebody taking a swing at me than just get spit on. Like that's just disgusting and awful.
If you think about it, I mean, say you're having words with somebody and they, for whatever the reason, throw a punch that misses. The chances that if somebody wants to ebb the tide, if somebody wants to calm the moment, they may like hold the arm and go, bruh, my man, let's hold on here. If somebody spits in your face, nobody's like, my man, things are going to be okay.
No, yes.
They're immediately, mostly doing what they can to try to wrestle the guy to the ground or punch somebody.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. The punch is an aggressive act, but it can be deflected. You can grapple. You can cool things down. The spit is the precursor to the punch.
Yeah, you're
asking to get punched.
The spit is, I think so little of you, and everything that's tied to your lineage, your pedigree, and your heritage, that I feel I can spit in your face and nothing's going to become of it.
I saw this as well. Christian Watson. So he's still on his way back from the ACL. Packers feeling good about it.
But Watson didn't play this weekend.
They're going to agree to...
Yeah, something happened in camp, I think, because he was practicing in camp.
They're going to give him a $13 million extension, despite the fact that he's still working his way back. So
feeling good about themselves off that win, aren't they?
Feeling good, and Golden's going to be awesome.
Right.
Jaden Reed can't be stopped. Tucker Kraft got into the end zone.
Wooten, whatever the new Kenny Clark is in the middle. I mean, who needs TJ Slayton? I got you.
Who am I to tell Gutekunst how to do his job? But from a resource allocation standpoint, to have 7 number 1 wide receivers on your team, oh my goodness!
How did what were Golden's numbers this weekend?
Paltry.
Were they really?
Yeah, I mean, by all accounts, like the reviews were running good routes, looks the part, and, the camp, and he's going to have his blow up game soon.
Yep.
But he only had, I think, 2 catches, and maybe it was 2 on 2 targets. He wasn't exactly blowing the thing up. It in the end went back to the names I mentioned Kraft and Jaden Reed. And so, and then Jacobs, I think, gets in late for a touchdown as well. But and this is how Cinny kind of framed it up with me. Border battle on Monday while you were in Chi-Town is kind of the idea that he may not have a favorite. That this might be, from a fantasy perspective, this is the head cheese talking, not me. That this might be Jaden's game. That might be Tucker's game.
Just receivers.
From a pass catching standpoint, there's going to be a lot of spreading it around, a lot of mouths to feed with all those high end playmakers. But he thinks Golden is going to be really good and that he's going to have his chance at a blow up game, maybe.
Yeah.
Thursday night, hosting Jaden Daniels, and they're going to need every bit of what they got out of people on Sunday to handle Jaden and the Commanders.
And you got Debo.
Debo looked good, too.
We get to see Debo in the burgundy and gold.
Yeah, and I know we got to go because Vox's of all Voxes is next segment. But
he's listening now. He's cool.
But later in the final hour, when I do talk about JJ's debut, and I kind of framed it up just kind of in the context of what did we see from other guys in this draft class? What did we see from some high-enders that we consider consummate MVP candidates? And we'll talk through that. Jaden Daniels, though. I mean, Jaden Daniels from game one, even through the playoffs, he was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
He was solid.
But liftoff.
Yes.
I mean, and it was early, it was often, it was freaking unbelievable. Yes. And he was into the draft. Well, he was the inconsistent, inaccurate kid that had to change to LSU to finally get a real opportunity. What happened at Arizona State? And can't trust him, et cetera. And you draft him blindly on talent in number 2. Wow. So I'm hoping he just absolutely decimates the green and gold on Thursday night. I think all Vikings fans are.
Until McCarthy or May. Not Penix, too. He only has 4 starts. Until those 3 get more starts.
Yeah.
It's Daniels 1.
Yep.
Nix 2.
Correct.
With a bullet.
It is.
And 3 is to be announced. Well, I can't put Caleb 3 until I see more from the other guys.
I would actually say, and I guess we'll talk about this in 25-ish minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Caleb is hurting himself, which with each and every subsequent start.
Wow.
Because as you get more of this is the consistent byline, he'll run to the boundary, make that throw to a Dunze like he did the other night, and you're like, oh, holy cats. Gets with his legs, gets busy. You love all of that.
He's very difficult to bring down.
Then he'll stand there in the pocket, and he'll make, again, that throw I referenced earlier, where DJ Moore, that is a freaking touchdown. Isaiah Rodgers bites on the flat, safety's late, DJ Moore 6 points, Bears are hustling.
Preach.
And he overthrows him by 4 yards. So I think the more you see out of Caleb actually hurts him. I'd probably put him last in this mix, as of now.
That's a little hyperbolic. Well, as of now is fine. No. All right.
All right, we got to go. Sorry.
When we return, we are going to chat with the Vox of all Voxes, Everett Vox, and welcome to 9 to Noon's U.S. Bank Stadium. We're back after this. Don't leave.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards. So you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
Does Friendly have a taste? If it does, it's probably like Hello's peppermint-flavored anti-plaque and whitening toothpaste. Brush away plaque, show tartar who's boss, and remove surface stains to naturally whiten. Hello's thoughtful and flavor-forward products make brushing your teeth feel like a confetti-filled bathroom dance party. So say hello to Hello with the always cruelty-free, never tested on animals toothpaste that's made to spread smiles. Visit HelloProducts.com and let Hello add some everyday yay into your life.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You could stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, or you could spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. That's eating good in the neighborhood.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats.
Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.